Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Ticket to Ride is one of the most beloved games, and it's earned that right to be what I would call the Monopoly replacement. I think every home should have a copy of Ticket to Ride. Now we were granted the 10th anniversary. Gosh, it's been a few years now. I'm just not getting around to reviewing it. But the 10th anniversary is a very beautiful game. Now, I've heard some nitpicking complaints about it, but I tell you what, when I put this on the table with a casual or a non-gamer, their eyes light up. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I mean, it is a really spectacular to look at. I think that this is one of the most beautiful games I've seen. I think it's worthy of the anniversary edition. And if you don't like it, you look at it, you're going to nitpick it, fine. It's not for you. For the remainder of us, for a game that was about $100 when it came out, I really feel like I got my money's worth. I have that beautiful version I can put out on the table with non-gamers and say, look how beautiful this board game is. And they look at the pieces and all the trains are a little bit different. I had some problems with the colors, like the yellow looked a little more brown and stuff, but the giraffe coming out of the red, I mean, it just looks really, really good. When you're on the board, I think everything looks great. There could have been some more additions. You're not going to be able to take the expansions or, and use it with this. The trains could be used in any of the games, I suppose. There might be some issues with the size of them. But it's very beautiful to have, when you have a classic game like this, to have a copy that you can pass down or keep or just bring out to look at the beauty of it. This is one of those games. And this is a game, this is one of the greatest gateway games I've ever played. I can always bring this out with people and play games and say, look, this is what games can be. Now I can say, look, this is what games can be. And isn't it beautiful to look at in the aesthetic of it? And that's really why you're buying the 10th anniversary. You're buying it for the aesthetic. So look at the pieces as you go through this video and decide if this is the look that you want for your copy of Ticket to Ride. The board is bigger. The spaces are nice. This is a very, very, very nice version of the game and one I highly recommend and one I will be keeping. Here's Ticket to Ride, the 10th anniversary edition. This is the deluxe set. If you want a family heirloom of Ticket to Ride, this is the set to get. It's a very big box that you're going to have. You're going to take this off, and it will unveil this. You will have a 10th anniversary Days of Wonder online. You will have a gigantic rule book, which we'll take a look at here. Picture of all the cars that you're going to have, the trains that you'll have in the set, the cards, and a picture of setup over here. Then when you open it up, you're going to have the object of the game, how a game turn will go, to claim routes, what you're doing, and the scoring. Very awesome. They were able to put this all on one page. The rest of this is just different languages. This is how you play the game. This is your components and your setup. Then you will have this board. And one thing you'll notice is you have a little indentation right here where the plastic goes down. I don't know if you can see that or not. So you can easily pick your board up and pull it out, which we'll take a look at this in just a moment. Inside here, what are you going to have? So you have a custom insert. So everything's upside down. Let me do it like this so you can see the trays. You're going to have a player marker. This is going to give you the victory point totals as you're going around the board. You're going to have a little slot. Each of these will go in. At first, I just wanted to put them inside of these so I can just hand them out to everybody. But it had this custom insert, so why not use it? You're going to have these tickets that you'll have in the game. Now, these are bigger than what you would normally get in a Ticket to Ride game. Here's the card for the longest contiguous one. And you can see here that it will have the name of the cities on the top, the victory points over here, and the routes that you're trying to get to on the side. So you have all the tickets here. I don't think there's anything special about it. The cards are really nice. And then you have an indentation there just for the ticket ones so they don't get mixed up with the cards here. That will be the main cards that you'll be putting in. Now, a very nice addition to the game is not only is it different colors and different trains on each card, but there are different icons. So you can easily see that if you're colorblind. I played with a couple colorblind people, and they had to go to the icons on it. So these cards are fairly nice. Nothing extraordinary on these cards, but they are good quality, and I do like the custom insert. If you can see the little piece of plastic there that deviates between the two types. Then you're going to have the 5 different trains that you're going to have in this game. Each one is going to come in their own tin. Each one's going to have a different artwork and the colors of them inside. When you open them up, the lid will come off, and you can see the little train. Now, each of the trains are going to be different. All these are going to be same in here, but they're going to be different each of the containers. This one is the Railroad Circus. You can see the giraffes kind of popping out of it. Now, these are really nice plastic pieces. They look really, really beautiful. Now, this is probably the dullest one of the group, maybe, but it does have the giraffes coming out. Everybody thinks that's super, super cute. So you would put that back in, and you can see this is indented into here where this would go down. Then you have the Metropolitan Rapid Transit, the blue ones that you'll see here. Beautifully textured here. These are plastic, not wooden. And you can see that it says ABCD on it. So that's the trains that you would have for there. Next, we're going to have the Black Powder Railroad. There's a lot of jokes about being the Black Power Railroad. And this will be the coal that will go on the trains. You can see here with the black team, you're going to have the coal that will be going through there and T and R on it, I assume for Ticket to Ride. And you'll put that back down. Last one is the Hobo Caboose Central. This will be your green ones. You can see here, they differentiate pretty easily. These are going to be your cabooses. We always said the hobos are jumping on these during the game. These are where you want a free ride. Last but not least will be the yellow, which we thought actually looked pretty darn brown to us. The Dutch Flat Barrel Company. And these are might be the coolest ones. Transporting beer or root beer for some of you. That'll be going through. You can see it here. Very cool trains. Now, these look more brown to me than yellow. They do have the yellow stripes on them, but we all kind of deduced that maybe that was more brown than yellow, but it will use the yellow scoring track there. So that's the components that you're going to have. I'm going to show you the map now. The map is very large, so it's going to need quite a bit of space on the table. So when you open this up, I'm going to show you the back of it first. So this is the back of the map. This is really big, a little bit too big for the space I have, but you can see the 10th anniversary is on the back. It says Days of Wonder down here at the bottom, and at the top it says Alan R. Moon. So they spent some money on the back of the map that will lay flat as you play the game. Otherwise, this is going to be the map. I'm going to try to get as much of this as I can. That's about it. So you can see down here, you're going to have a picture of the different players. You're going to have the scoring track that will go around it. This is a very giant board, guys. You can see the tracks that are coming through, the different colors. And you do have monuments. There's Mount Rushmore. You got some buffalo up here. The Salt Lake Temple over here. You've got some prospectors over here. So a lot going on in this. It's the exact same map of America. It's just much, much, much larger. So that's the components for Ticket to Ride. This is an excellent, excellent version of the game. The components are a huge upgrade over what you're going to get in the base game, if you ask me. When you pull this out with the size of the board and the little trains that will be going everywhere, it is made to impress. In addition, this is a great game. I feel like every family should have Ticket to Ride. This should replace Monopoly in all of the closets across America and across the world. And this, if you want to spend a little bit more money and have a very nice version of it, but sometimes we do want to do with classic games, this is the version of Ticket to Ride to have. This is a beautiful piece of art and one I highly recommend, components or otherwise. This is the version of Ticket to Ride to own. I understand it's a luxury and it has a very expensive price to it, but if you can swing it and you'll play Ticket to Ride, this is a great piece to have. And when you're showing new people these board games and you pull out Ticket to Ride in this beautiful game, it really impresses. So this is a great addition. So Ticket to Ride is a very easy game to learn how to play. At the beginning of the game, you're going to get 3 tickets. And you're going to be able to choose 2 of these to keep. Now, tickets are very easy. In this case, I'm trying to go from Las Vegas to New York. If I'm able to complete that route, I will get 19 points. If I'm unable to complete it, I will lose those 19 points. So you can kind of look at these and maybe, these 2 are on the East Coast. I'm going to take this one or do I want to go for the big one? So you make those decisions at the beginning of the game. Then each player will take 4 cards from the top of the deck, which will be their starting hands. In this case, I started with 2 wilds, a yellow, and a green. And these cards right here are wild. They can supplement for any color in the deck. So I could play this as 2 yellows or 3 yellows, or I could play it as 2 greens. It's literally a wild card. Each player will be given a number of trains. When one player has 0, 1, or 2 games, the final round will begin, and the person who got reduced to 0, 1, or 2 will be the final player. So you take one final round after that, including the person who was down to 0, 1, or 2 trains. At that point, whoever has the longest consecutive train route, it can't branch off, has to be consecutive, will get 10 additional victory points. You will also get victory points, as I explained, for the tickets that you've accomplished, and lose points for the ones that are in your hand that you did not accomplish at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points wins the game. Ticket to Ride is very easy to play. During the game, there will be 5 cards set up face up, and these will not be on the board. They'll be off to the side. But this board is so big, I have to put them here. On your turn, you're allowed to pick up 2 cards. I can maybe go 1, 2, and add these to my hand. If I don't like any of the cards that are out, I can simply take one from the top, and I could take another card from the top if I chose. If I took a card from the top, I could also choose one of these to take on my next turn, thus refilling the score back up. If there's ever a wild card here, and I pick up a wild card as my first action, I cannot take a second card. The wild card would be the only card I could take. If I drew, let's say it was set up like this, and I drew a wild card from the top of the deck, that does not count. I can take an additional card. It's just when I take a face-up one, if I take one wild, it's the end of my turn. The second action you can do on your turn is you can give up your cards. In this case, I will be playing 4 black cards, and that would allow me to place trains out on the board claiming this route. Now, I can claim anywhere on the board, and my trains do not have to be connected. When I claim a train route, I'll be able to score points based on this chart. So 4 trains will score me 7 points immediately based on this chart. In order for me to claim a route, I have to have a card for each space. There's 4 spaces here, 4 cards. If I only had 3 cards, I could not just place the 3 trains down. Now, the locations that have 2, you look here, it has black and orange. 2 different people can go here. I cannot claim both. One can be claimed with 4 black, the other one can be claimed with orange. If it's gray, that means it can be claimed with any color. So in this case, I wanted to claim this route between Kansas City and Oklahoma City. I could play 2 blacks, or I could have easily played 2 greens if I so desired. Either one of those would have worked because they're gray. In addition, let's say once again, I'm wanting to claim this trap right here between Denver and Kansas City, but I only have 3 blacks. I can always play a wild card as my additional cards. I always have to have at least 1, and then I could put these down, that black counting as, wild counting as a black, thus still scoring me 7 points. So the second thing I could do is claim a route on the board. The third possible thing that I could do on a turn is to claim tickets. I would draw 3 from the top of the deck and decide which ones I want to keep. I must keep 1, but I could keep 1, 2, or 3 of these cards depending on what strategies I've had. Later in the game, it's a little bit of a risk. You might get something like Los Angeles to Oklahoma City, and I've only worked on the East Coast. It'd be very hard for me to obtain. Sometimes you might get stuff like Kansas City to Houston and Salt Lake City to Kansas City. Maybe I've already done those. So by taking the card, I'm scoring points automatically. It's a little bit of luck that's in the game. So reiterating those 3, I can take cards that are face up, 2 cards, as long as the first one's not wild. I could claim a route, or I can take additional tickets that will score me points at the end of the game. Who should buy this game? This is an anniversary edition of a game. So this is people who already like Ticket to Ride or have a use for it. Ticket to Ride isn't my favorite game, but I do have a use for it as a gateway for non-gamers having to come over, try out a game. I feel like I can play Ticket to Ride with anyone, including my children. I wanted a pretty version of this with a nice aesthetic in this grand set. This is much better than the 15th anniversary that just came out. This is a very nice one that you can hand down. It's not quite as some as like the mint editions of Monopoly, but this is a very nice and the nicest version of Ticket to Ride's out. It doesn't really compete with Catan Collector's Edition. That was beautiful, but this is a really nice version. And when I would say, if you're looking for one that you can put on the table and impress, this is the one to get. Absolute keeper for me. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.